All right, guys, here we go. Second to last training camp video. AFC West. News right now. Colts fans are losing their minds. Browns players know exactly why Joe Flacco is starting. Multiple trades to fill out different places on the team. Who's getting rid of players to be able to get some draft picks. We'll go over some general news, and we'll go over the two teams we've got today, the Raiders and the Chargers. Here we go. All right, guys, let's jump right into it. The first story I want to go over is one of it's the dream. It's what every player that dreams of being in the NFL, every player that puts the time, the effort, and the work into being a college quarterback, no matter what level, college football player, the dream to be able to get the millions of dollars that is in the NFL. I love the story of Tyson Badgett. It's going to be an underlying story. It's going to get bowled over. Not many people are going to talk about it. I will. The Bears signed Tyson Badgett to a 2-year, $10 million extension to be the backup quarterback to Caleb Williams. He was in the final year of his rookie deal, making very little money comparatively. He just got $5 million a year. He was overwhelmed with emotion. It was genuine. And it's what makes this sport personable. He now, as he said, I was reading the entire quote and the entire interview that he had. He said, "This money takes all the weight off of my shoulders. It takes the weight off my family's shoulders. It just feels so good." Good for you, Tyson. Good for you. And congratulations on being seen as a long-term backup quarterback in the NFL. Congratulations on the money. I'm happy you and your family can sleep easier tonight. In other news, we had multiple trades take place to fill in gaps, to fill in holes. I expect a couple more to actually happen before the end of week 3, maybe into the beginning of next week. But the biggest one is, to me, it kind of was interesting because Deshaun Vele was traded from the Broncos to the New Orleans Saints. Deshaun Vele, I thought, and Sean Payton had said he loved him in that joker role, big, tall, 6'5", utility guy. Obviously, getting Evan Ingram as a tight end, you have a true tight end now who can play the joker role. And honestly, the Broncos kind of were getting full because you got Marvin Mims, you got Courtland Sutton. Vele didn't really fit, so they moved off of him, sent him to the New Orleans Saints, and they get a 4th and a 7th round pick, 4th in this coming draft in 2026 and a 7th in 2027. So congratulations to them. Then the Jets have made 2 different moves. The first move is actually he's going to end up being a starter. They made a trade with the Minnesota Vikings. They sent a 2026 and a 2027 6th round pick to the Vikings for Harrison Phillips in a 2027 7th-round pick. So they give up 2 picks, get a player and a pick. He is expected to start for the New York Jets. I remember when he was with Buffalo. He was a very, very solid defensive tackle in Buffalo. He is going to now be starting next to Quinnen Williams on the Jets' defensive front line. Then they also made a trade getting Ja'Whaun Briggs from the Cleveland Browns. Now, this one is for depth and depth alone. They sent a 6th-round pick, again, because they have another one, in 2026 for Briggs and a 7th-round pick. So they just moved back in the draft, didn't actually lose a pick. That was basically for depth, as the Jets have dealt with offensive line issue or defensive line issues. And you know what? Who knows that better than Aaron Glenn? So it doesn't surprise me at all that Aaron Glenn felt like getting some help on that team. The final story is Demarcus Robinson, the wide receiver, currently that's going to be playing a big part early in the year, is now not. He's got a 3-game suspension for the DUI, so he is now out for the first 3 games of the season. The 49ers receiving core looks really, really bleak. It's going to be Ricky Pearsall and basically nobody else. Jawan Jennings is still hurt. Brandon Ayuk is not going to be back at least until week 6, so it doesn't really look good. Now, a team that it potentially looks good for, the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, you heard me right. The Las Vegas Raiders. This team, we're going to start backwards. What is success for this team? Listen, success for this team is going 2-4 in your division or splitting completely. Go 3-3 in your division, be 8-9, 9-8, and sniffing the playoffs. I believe this team can go 8-9. Most projections have them at 7-10. I understand why. They do have some holes still on this team. Pete Carroll, like Jim Harbaugh, I believe year 2 will be a little bit stronger than year 1. They will be competitive, very competitive this year with Chip Kelly running the offense, Geno Smith, and Genty. The problem is there's very clear holes on this team. Their strongest position is the offensive line. Colton Miller, the outstanding left tackle. Will Powers Jackson from Oregon. You got Dylan Parham. And then you've got the question mark's going to be the right guard, Alex Kappa, and then DJ Glaze, the right tackle. Those are a little bit, those are somewhat of the question marks. But they're ranked pretty high. PFF has them as a decent offensive line. And I'll be honest with you, if they can open up the holes for Ashton Genty, they're going to be competitive. If they can run the ball, run the clock, if Genty can just take the ball, make some moves, he's going to be really small behind that huge offensive line. He's got a Maurice Jones-Drew body type, absolutely has his skill set. I'm looking for huge things from Ashton Genty. Huge things from Ashton Genty. I love everything about him. The weakest part of this team is definitely wide receiver. Jakobi Meyers is decent. I love the pick from TCU, Jack Beck. I think by the end of it, he'll at least be the slot, if not move into the second position. Because Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton Jr. will not hold any weight whatsoever in this offense. Beck is a much better route runner, much better complementary piece to Jakobi Meyers. I don't see anybody else starting but Jack Beck. And I do like Beck a lot. But it is the weakest position, which makes it really difficult on Geno Smith. So a run game is a must. The pass game needs to be very precise. They do have Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Ian Thomas. That is 100% correct. Their tight ends are good. And honestly, if you run Jakobi Meyers, Jack Beck, and Bowers as your 3 wide receivers with Mayer as the tight end, I think this team has a lot of success running that formation by itself. And I do believe they've got plenty of opportunity. looking at their first 6 weeks. First 6 weeks, brand new coach. Actually, we're doing first 7 because week 8 is the bye week for the Raiders this year. So week number 1 on the road against New England. I am really excited for that game, mainly because two brand new head coaches going at each other. One team we think is going to be in the playoffs. The other team we think is just going to be a lot more competitive. Well, I'm looking forward to week number 1 against the Patriots. Week 2, they're home against the Chargers. This is Monday Night Football. Home against the Chargers week 2. They absolutely have the opportunity to steal this game. Do not sleep on the Raiders. Week 2, opening game at home against the Chargers. Especially with the Chargers, which we're actually going to talk about next, especially with Rashawn Slater being out. I believe it is a lot bigger of an issue than people think, because we've seen offensive line be the downfall of a lot of teams. We'll go over that here in a second. Week 3, they're at Washington. Week 4, they're home against Chicago. Week 5 at Indianapolis. Week 6, home against Tennessee. And week 7, they go to Kansas City before their bye week. I think this is a great schedule for a brand new head coach. You got a couple of tough teams. You got the Chargers. You got Washington. You got the Chiefs. Then you got a couple easy ones. We don't know what the Bears are going to be, so let's just say they're going to be about the same as the Raiders. You got the Bears. You got the Colts, which we have no clue what they're going to be. And you got the Titans, who have a rookie quarterback. It'll be week 6. They'll be working into things getting better. You've got potential. You could easily go 3-3, 3-4 this stretch. Easily go 3-4. And then you finish out the season after making some adjustments, and we've seen, this is Pete Carroll, this is Chip Kelly. After a bye week, they will have the ability to input a new game plan, input a new system, change what they need to change for the second half of the year. AFC West is the best coach division that has ever been coached in football. Ever. No, ever. I don't think there will ever be a division that has this much coaching ability at all. Ever. You have Super Bowl winning coach, Super Bowl winning coach, Super Bowl winning coach, along with the national championship. Super Bowl attending coach, national championship. The offensive coordinator played in the national championship, coached in the national championship. You have a pedigree. These 4 teams in this division have a pedigree of coaches that will never be matched. Ever. This is outstanding. Outstanding division. I cannot wait for these games. Week 6, week 7, they can go 3-4. Success, just compete. A failure, 5 wins. If they go 5-12 and they're sitting in the top 10 in the draft again, that is a failure. That is a failure. Now, let's move to the Chargers. Move to the Chargers. First 6 weeks. This is where we're at. So, opening up against Kansas City on Friday night at home. I don't know what to think of it. Then they're on the road against the Raiders. I already said it's going to be tough. Then they got the Broncos week 3 at home. They open up with 3 straight division games. You talk about a tough opening schedule. 3 straight division matchups to start the year? Okay. So here's where we're at. Rashawn Slater, outstanding Pro Bowl, All-Pro left tackle. Out for the year. I hope it's not for his career. That injury is known as the career ender. It's not an ACL, it's a lot worse. It is harder to rehab. It is harder to stay healthy afterwards. It is the knee injury that has taken people out of this league at a very young age multiple times. Because of that, I don't believe this team is as strong. Mekhi Becton, we've seen this act before. Mekhi Becton, I loved the signing of Mekhi Becton to go to guard next to Slater. Because I felt having Slater there was going to help kind of protect Becton, let him be a bigger, bulkier guard, especially for the run game, and let him kind of just play that position. And in terminology, in a grading, he could be a B guard next to an A plus tackle and survive okay. It wouldn't hurt him. He is not an A guard or tackle by himself. And that's what I'm now worried about. Where do they move the offensive line pieces? Do they move Joe Alt over? I don't think so. I'm not sure where you want to move everybody. Week 4, they're at the Giants, so probably a W. But week 5, they got Washington. Week 6, they're at Miami. So really simply, I think they could go 2-4 in those first 6 really easily, guys. And originally with Slater, I had them beating the Chiefs. I had them beating the Chiefs, and I had them beating the Raiders with Slater. Because I felt Slater could block Crosby enough. Crosby's going to eat now. Crosby, I believe, will absolutely eat. The offensive line, as of right now, looks like this. Joe Alt, Bradley Bozeman, Zion Johnson, left tackle, left guard, center. And then you've got right guard, Mekhi Becton, and right tackle, Trey Pipkins. Not going to work. I'm sorry. The right side is going to be where Will Dissly, the tight end, or Tyler Conklin, the backup tight end, is going to always have to be lined up. They will have to chip anybody that's coming up against that right tackle or that right side. Nick Bonito is going to eat them for lunch. Max Crosby is going to eat them for a midnight snack. I don't like the offensive line setup nearly as much. It's still the strongest position on this team. The weakest is the defensive line. They run a 34. Their 3-down linemen aren't great. Deshaun Hand, T.R. Tart, and Otito. They're not great, and they don't have backups that are great. You could have talked me into potentially putting linebacker as the strongest position. Henley, Perryman, Mack, Thule, and then their backups, Kyle Kennard, Junior Colson, Bud Dupree. It's going to rely on those front 3, though. If they don't create enough pressure by themselves, Jesse Minter will constantly have to rush 5 or 6 to get pressure on the quarterback, which leaves your secondary, which isn't strong enough. Back end's good. Derwin James, Aloy Gilman are in the back. But Dante Jackson, Cam Hart, and Tarheeb Steele, not quite what you need. Not quite what you need at corner to be able to really hold up in a man-on-man, straight-up scenario. Geno Smith, Chip Kelly's going to know that Minter's going to rush. Chip Kelly played Jesse Minter. He's going to know Jesse Minter's defense. He's going to know Spagnuolo, what he's going to try to do. He's coached in the NFL. I really think right now the Chargers are going to have to do a great coaching job just to get to 9-8. Their receiving core is a little bit better. They got Keenan Allen back. They drafted Trey Harris, who I think will be the second receiver. Running back, Najee Harris injured himself with fireworks. It's amazing. I don't understand how these people do it. I don't. So because of that, Amarian Hampton's going to start the year. Harris is kind of in the doghouse already. So I don't know how long he's going to – I don't even know how long he's going to be around the Chargers just because, they made the move for him, but he's only got this year on his contract. It's not like he's got a bunch of years. Amarian Hampton is the future running back for the Chargers. So I'm not sure what we're going to be able to really find out. I think they'll draft another offensive lineman next year. Harbaugh will continue to draft offensive linemen, so he's got the depth. They'll keep signing offensive linemen so they have the depth, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Rashawn Slater going out, I hope it's only for this year. I hope it doesn't end his career because, gosh darn it, I was high on him when he got drafted. I loved when they drafted him. I loved how he played last year. He had such high potential going into this year. And then that, patella tendon. It's a bad knee injury. It's really, really bad. I hope he can come back from it. If not, they'll have to adjust. Unfortunately, it's football. And that is some of the downside to it. There's no doubt about that. But the Chargers right now, success, I think 9-8, sniff the playoffs, failure. Even with Rashawn Slater out, this team can win games. You only win 5 or 6 games, that's a failure. This team can go 8-9, 9-8, and should go 8-9, 9-8. But those first 3 opening weeks, they could go 0-3. They could easily go 0-3 in those first 3 weeks. Chiefs to open the year, Raiders on the road, Broncos coming in, trying to figure out the right side of that offensive line. We saw what happened against the Texans with an offensive line that was only missing 2 pieces. You're missing one of your biggest ones because you signed Joe Alt. Well, Joe Alt is now taking Rashawn Slater's place. So you're back to having those same issues. We saw what those Texans did to that offensive line. I really feel a division game. These coaches know these division games are going to matter. They will matter. And they're going to have to play it really hard. It could be a great coaching year for Jim Harbaugh just to be 9-8. It really could be. If they get to 9-8, it is a success. Even if they don't make the playoffs, it's a success. That simple. And tomorrow, we end with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. Man, it's been a fun offseason. But the offseason's almost done. In my mind, it is done on Saturday. Saturday is week 0 of college football. And you know what? Let's do that. So college football, let's close this out with the picks. Here we go. So this week, I have the slides set up for when I'm live. I got to work on the rest of the stuff this weekend. Absolutely excited about that. Let's do this. So we're going to pick let's pick 3 games. So this weekend, we have got Iowa State and Kansas State. It is a ranked matchup. Kansas State, I do believe, will actually be in the Big 12 title contention at the end of the year. I think Iowa State lost a little bit too much to be able to really be there at the end. They are both ranked beginning of the year. They're playing in Ireland. And we've seen the over-the-sea games, the playing field is completely leveled. I'm going to go with Kansas State, though. I feel they've got more they got a little bit more moxie right now because they've got cohesion. They got the experience factor on their side. So I think K-State, Wildcats pull it out over the Cyclones over in Dublin this weekend. That is on ESPN at noon. The game on Fox at 6:30 is Fresno State at Kansas. Kansas is currently 13-point favorites. The over-under for the game is 50.5 points. I will tell you this right now. I think Fresno State is going to be a shocking team this year. And I think they're going to play Kansas. Really, really tough week one. I'm going to take the under. I think Kansas does not cover. I think Fresno State is closer than 13 points, but I do think Kansas will get the victory. And that game is on Fox at 6:30 on Saturday. And then Stanford and Hawaii is on CBS and Paramount Plus at 7:30. I love this game. I love watching Hawaii play in Hawaii. One of the coolest stadiums. It's always fun to be able to see over there. Hawaii is favored by 2.5 points. I love the Cardinals, but I love Hawaii a little bit more. I'm going to go Hawaii this weekend over Stanford by a field goal, maybe 5 points. I could see this being a 28-23, 33-28 game, something like that. But I think Hawaii wins. So this week I got Hawaii, Kansas, and Kansas State for my college picks. And those will actually be part of the Friday segments going forward when we're live starting on Monday. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We got one more video tomorrow. Make it the best Thursday evening you can and have a fantastic Friday. We'll have one more video to close out the week heading into the weekend tomorrow night. Thank you so much for hanging out. For Sports Talk with Hawk, I'm Hawk, and I'm out. Have a great night.